Hey! Spaceman here. And it's time for D&D. Let's D&D.
Awesome. So we're starting our soft reboot, season 2. We find our group, the Guy, the Guild of Adventurous Intent, back at the Blue Scroll for a morning meeting after Yudo called the whole group together. The night before, the day before, your bard kind of committed suicide. So we buried him, and Yudo explains to everyone that in the middle of the night, Arnault was called away by his brothers in the Blades of Balinor to go off and fight some fearsome foe. And he left a note, but he had to depart suddenly.
He's probably going to bang his sorceress lady friend on the back of a stuffed unicorn or something.
Maybe. Depends on how dire the situation was.
Yeah.
So Yudo brings you all together to kind of convey that news, and then also gestures to a newcomer. Mr. Kontos, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Aeolus Kontos. I'm a former mercenary officer, and Yudo here says you guys are in need of some folks, so here I am.
Welcome.
Who are you guys? Who are all of you?
I'm Daroth Goldrune of the clan Goldrune, last of my clan. I
Brutal.
seek revenge.
That's cool.
I am Thulak Thorncalla. I am seeking revenge from a what is it called? Beholder that attacked my village.
Revenge and revenge. Okay.
I know. We got a lot of revenging
It's a
happening.
common theme in this group, I
Is
tell
it?
you.
Speaking of
Shit.
revenge, you speaking for heretics who have stolen from my order.
Okay, plant
I
guy.
want vengeance.
Are you gonna tell me you're looking for vengeance?
We should have named this group Vengeance.
Yeah. D
The
D
Revengers.
D&D Rising Revengeance.
Lucan?
Yes, Mr. Plantman.
You're on mute.
Yeah. He's doing photosynthesis right now.
Can't talk. Busy absorbing light.
Gotta convert sunlight into glucose, guys.
It's important. And so you guys notice Shard over here in the corner.
It doesn't convert itself.
Shard has his back, to the fireplace. You notice he doesn't have his mask on.
Oh.
And he says, most of you guys have known me as Shard, but I am also known as Ignatius Rothwild. Which, if anybody wants to make a history check or something, can note something about that name.
Yeah, that sounds like a fancy name. History.
I don't actually have advantage on that. Sorry.
Yeah, so, Kontos! You notice that is the name of one of the noble families that one of their members holds a seat on the council.
Oh shit. So yeah, you're like kind of a big deal.
Yeah, he's tried to, keep his identity somewhat low-key, but,
That's
he
understandable.
figures that the more he hangs out with you guys and the more attention he draws to himself, it just seems to make more sense to not keep up the ruse.
Yeah. So Plant Man, are you done photosynthesizing? What?
Oh,
Sorry,
Steve's
Tom.
turned off the sound. Okay.
Yeah, I had my headphones off. Your Discord muted.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's kind of a problem.
Kind of figured someone would have figured it out pretty quickly and texted me to remind me.
Sorry.
I don't know. You could have AFK'd.
It could have been the bathroom. Who knows?
Yeah.
I was actually watching the recap video. That's why.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'll recap what you missed from the recap video. So new dude named Kontos,
So,
and we just kind of went around to a quick intro. Arnold got called off with the blades somewhere.
yep. And this guy came up, and I'm trying to get to know you guys. And yeah, we did the whole circle of joy. But what's your deal, Plant Man?
Lucan Pine Shadow, a sentinel of Alars, here on some personal business.
Is it
And-
revenge?
Not really.
Okay, you're the non-revenge guy.
Yeah, my guy's also not really here for revenge. He's more of going
Okay.
off and selecting, helping find artifacts and missing things.
So most of the party has beef with one thing or another.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And actually, as a DM note, I was surprised with Jeff's because I thought his original backstory was different, but we can fix that later.
What was it?
I think you were really trying to bring nature into the city because you saw like Eastspire itself has like a big scar across the land. They like use this massive metropolis, and there's like no parks or anything because dwarves had a
Wow.
large influence.
Okay, then that's my backstory.
Okay.
'Cause honestly, I didn't remember what it was, so I fell back to my
Okay.
original backstory. So
Okay.
Cool.
So we can't be the
Aw.
revengeance team anymore because it's only
Yeah,
like
sorry.
Yeah.
half of us.
We're all unique and have our own personal goals and strives.
Yeah.
Oh,
So like,
lame.
I used to be a mercenary, but I got tired of fighting other people's wars. Also, my whole patrol kind of got like massacred by this thing, and I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna kill it. 'Cause that's how that works.
Nice.
Revenge.
Revenge, yeah. But yeah. Oh yeah, and like Yudo's been telling me all about your guys' adventures, so hopefully we can ignore that like awkward getting to know each other phase.
But I want to sing the "Getting to Know You" song.
Getting to know you.
Okay.
All right. Well, speaking of getting to know you and other stuff, we have the dinner with Farak the Darker inside Mog Faldor, which is where all the dwarves make their home in the evening. And since it is only morning, if anybody wants to go off and hit up the Grand Market, get to know each other better, or start exploring some of your various personal interests, we can do that now. Unless
I would
everybody's
like
nah.
to do some research on Thurok the Darker and like the various factions of the dwarven nobility, if possible.
Sure.
That's a good call. I'll go with
History
him on that.
or religion.
History.
Can I do
Wait, so-
investigation?
I have an out of character question.
Sure.
What happened to Brent's original character?
I wanted to roll something else.
Yeah, but what happened to your original character?
He went off with the brotherhood that he is supposedly claimed he is from.
Yeah.
So, like, in the middle of the night, a bunch of other dudes that have giant spikes driven into their heads showed up, and they were like, "The time
Hey.
has come." And then he went off into the
Yeah.
night.
He's like, oh shit, that's ominous. We gotta roll.
Didn't even say goodbye.
He left
Yeah.
a note.
Yeah, he left a note.
You always
Like,
leave a
I
note.
guess that's-
It wasn't a very well written note. It's like, hey, I gotta go fast.
I gotta go fast. No other explanation, but speed.
Yeah. He might be back one day. He may be an NPC. Who knows?
Maybe.
Dun,
He's the
dun,
final
dun.
boss now. Shit.
Yeah. He's become what he hates.
Oh no.
So,
I am the monster.
what's your class then?
Don't worry about it.
I'm curious. Out of character.
Don't worry about it.
We're fine.
You'll find out. Maybe.
His class is maintain party balance.
Yeah, pretty much. Keep you guys organized in the clusterfuck that is warfare. That's what I do, man. You can't have your lines breaking.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so who wants to know what are you going to roll to find it out?
I want to know about the faction of dwarves that I've forgotten his name because I have a terrible memory.
Farak the Durker.
Yeah, that guy. I want to know more about his faction.
Okay.
I did not roll well.
You did not roll well.
Let me help. You said history, right?
History, I mean, investigation if you're going around asking people.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll just... Hey, I know stuff.
Yay. So, you know he's part of the Dwarven King's advisors. And so, for those that didn't read all of the multitudinous amount of detail I gave you guys, the city's kind of divided. So there's Mog Faldor, which is like this big, like, hollowed-out volcano that all the dwarves live in. They have their own monarchy and kind of governing body inside. And then there's the outside city, which is actually Eastspire, which is ruled by a noble council, which the king has an advisor on, which kind of is like a check and balances. And anyone who's on the council will say the king still has kind of final say, but he largely leaves anything outside Mog Faldor to the noble council to handle. Like, he doesn't give a shit. So
All the small stuff.
yeah, all the small stuff, like stuff outside. Like, who cares?
Truth care, truth brings.
Yeah. He's like, underground, he gives a shit. Outside, whatever.
Yeah.
So Farak the Lurker is part of the king's advisors. I have 5 of them written down. He's also a cleric of Grumbar, which is a god of the earth, like the domain of earth, like elemental earth.
Neat.
Okay.
Is there anything else specific people want to look into about that? Like the other advisors or people's names? 'Cause I have the stuff all written down, but you guys also have it in your notes.
Yeah. I guess what I'm looking for, are there tensions among the various advisors, or are they pretty much harmonious?
Are we getting ourselves into court intrigue? On a tension?
Make an insight check. Anyone who wants to.
Insights.
Also, I feel like my character as a noble would have some pretty good insight into that.
And he does.
And he does.
Which is good,
That's a nice
because everyone else is fucking clueless.
Yeah. So metagaming, this is why I built a noble character who's local to the area, because he knows shit about the area. So he didn't get anything off of Farak that made it seem like it was part of, like, noble politicking. I think it was more of a,
He just wanted
cool,
some
you
good
found
booze.
and protected a dwarven tomb and gave it back to the dwarves and didn't try to loot it yourselves. So that was kind of like I'll let you guys have dinner. Which to him didn't seem like a big deal, but he knows as someone who's lived in the city his whole life, it's like a big honor for anyone who's not a dwarf to be allowed inside.
None of us are dwarfs.
Exactly. We had a dwarf, but he decided to go by the way of his old people. Joined Grandpa.
He was too cool for this earth.
Found a way out. Alright, done with the jokes. So yeah, there's not a lot of information on what goes on inside Mog Faldor. He knows there's the king, which is Atul Stormhold, with his wife Golta. He has 4 children, which I can go off into names if we care about, but we probably don't. He has a handful of bodyguards, like elite bodyguards that are always kind of nearby. He rarely ever comes out of Mog Faldor and like his little castle within the mountain. He has a series of different advisors that are all kind of, different specializations. So Farak the Durker is kind of like the cleric and holy side of the advising. There's dwarven wizard on his advisors. There's a aristocrat who's kind of more into, trade and making sure all that stuff goes well.
His face.
Yeah. There's a captain of the military forces is on the advisory board. And then there's a combo bard druid.
A Bruid.
A druid. Not much is known about him other than he is the leader of the Speakers of Stone, which people that have walked around the city have seen these mostly dwarves, but these are actually somewhat more inclusive. A bunch of people with like gray hoods and cloaks, kind of walk around, and they kind of you see them like chanting at like walls and like doing other stuff, and they're kind of like maintaining the city.
Okay.
He talks to walls, man.
So the reason that I'm asking questions is what do I think the likelihood of this guy willing to like give us missions or have a closer relationship with our adventurers group? Like,
I think
has he heard tales of our adventures?
I feel like dinner is probably a great time to ask him some general questions to see what he knows. He may or may not be able to help you out with your own personal goals. You guys don't get the idea that he's going to come reaching out to a bunch of adventuring party people outside the city for help.
Yeah, he's got his own crew.
He's got his own lackeys,
So-
and also he's a pretty powerful cleric from what everyone kind of seems to say.
right. So I guess well, maybe I should just save this for when we're talking to him. But you know, he's a pretty big guy. He's probably got some tasks that are annoying and outside of the city that maybe he would just rather, you know, went away, or something he wants investigated far outside of the city, or something along those lines. Something that, you know, not in Mogfeldor or like the dwarven territory per
Yeah.
se. And I figured he might want a group for handling those sort of things. But it sounds like he's got a military, and why would he hire an adventurer? Does that sound right?
Yeah, or it's more of a. It's rare enough that he would allow non-dwarves into the city. I think it'd be even weirder for him to all of a sudden ask non-dwarves for assistance.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Not to say in the future, if you guys become a little bit more famous, he may not ask, or someone from Mogfaldor might ask you guys for help. But for right now, you guys are kind of new players in town, so it'd be kind of.
Yeah.
So what? Just as a refresher, what was the reason why he called us to dinner?
You guys got him his keg of cool, weird, Crush the Goblin brew, which is called Chest Kicker.
Oh, okay, that's right.
You uncovered that there was a dwarven tomb being used by goblins, and that there was some ancient dwarven magic there keeping grave robbers out from one of the chambers. And informing him of that, he was able to then go and like secure the area after we kill all the goblins. So it's kind of like a thank you for going above and beyond, not only just killing a goblin, but also securing like some really old dwarven legacy that like even like the dwarves in Mogfaldor didn't even know was out there.
Got it.
Okay.
Which also hints to that there's a lot more ancient crap out there than people would probably expect. Cool.
All right.
Hey Dave, where am I from again? What, the west place?
Oh yeah, you're from Westport.
Westport. Yeah. So I was like, is West something? I was like, shit. Yeah, I probably mentioned that
Westworld.
while I'm like talking to you guys. Like, yeah, I'm from Westport originally, but I've been around because mercenary work.
Too good for Eastport, huh?
What? We're in
Well,
Eastspire,
we're
which is
Eastspire.
like that's like basically where we are, man.
So for you guys, pretty common knowledge, Westport is way across the yawning sea. So it's like a couple months journey on boat. And Westport, kind of think of like Venice flanked by like a big river delta. So there's a bunch of farmlands and other stuff like upstream, and they tend to ship everything down toward Westport, and then it goes out along that side of the ocean.
Daddy wanted to be a farmer, but I said, fuck that.
How far is Westport from Eastspire?
It'd probably be like 2-3 months by boat.
Damn.
Yeah. No, the
Like-
yawning sea is
like
big.
sailboat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been around.
Yeah, Westport's probably the furthest away of the major cities, but is also like probably the most likely a rival of Eastspire.
Are they competitors? Like, are they rivals towns, or do they?
I think there's a
get along?
friendly rivalry, but there hasn't been like open war or anything.
Like, Eastspire football team versus.
Yeah.
West-
Oh yeah, no, they would be like, dude, Eastspire, we're gonna kick your ass. We got like The entire defensive team is a bunch of dwarves. They don't even move when you hit them.
Ugh.
They're like, well, we go with Tabaxi, we'll jump over them. It's like, it's illegal.
Yeah, so Brent, don't wear any Westport jerseys.
Yeah, I'm not really into sports, man. I haven't been home in like years, so because I'm a mercenary, I travel, or I was a mercenary. I traveled, and I'm an
you're
adventurer.
Once a mercenary, always a mercenary.
I mean,
That's what I
adventuring
say.
is pretty much the same thing, just not
True.
leading an army or whatever.
You don't have to be leading an army to be a mercenary.
Nah, but it sort of is like mercenary usually implies like a military structure. Sort of.
Maybe. Depends on the
mercenary
setting.
groups.
I guess.
So, do you guys want to go hang out in the market at all, or do you guys just want to get right up to this dinner?
Let's go to the dinner.
Yeah, I think so.
I say.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can.
Also, one question I had for Brent that I forgot about. Did we ever tally up and divvy out loot over the past several sessions?
I think we did.
'Cause my character sheet only has like 100 gold, and I feel like that's low.
Last
I
loot
There's-
was
Stuff was 14th of 11.
November. Yeah, 11/14.
Well, that was last month. But yeah, we have it all written down, but I don't think we ever tallied it all up and divided.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
No,
I only have
probably
200 pieces.
So let's do that really quick.
All right. Are you gonna do that, or do you want me to do that?
Sure, I'll do that real quick.
All right. Yeah, I just wrote everything down real quick.
Also, didn't we go on a whole like buying spree for that person and then like turn that all in?
Yeah, we bought a couple things out of there. 1,000 plus 125.
We got some items.
Art items. At.
We got a lot of pennies. Those
I
got
assume- Sorry, I was gonna say, do we send our late dwarf's share to his survivors?
Yeah,
Sure.
probably. Just to keep it simple, I guess.
So we each get 302 gold.
Oh well, I don't. I wasn't there.
302. All right, so I'll add that to what I currently have.
302.
Yep. And 10
I'm
silver.
rich.
If you want to get really technical. 302 and 10 silver.
I'm rich, bitch.
What? So yeah, none of us probably have enough money to go on a shopping spree anyway.
I have 3 gold.
Sweet.
Drinks are on me.
Makeover.
Nah, bitch, I'm already pretty.
Alright, so then we will thusly over the market. Let me move the player tokens to Mog Faldor. This is a big map. We're all way the hell up the top.
Oh, jeez. I was like, all I see
But
is
if people want to
darkness.
track their way through, feel free. Hopefully control click, I think, brought everybody to it.
There we go.
Yep. There we go.
Cool.
Alright.
So if you scroll back down, you can see the corridor you went through. You went through the big-ass gate. It's very well fortified. Went down a very long hallway. You feel like it'd be a very bad idea to assault. Followed by another hallway. That seems like a very bad idea to assault.
Is that a shopping cart full of axes?
Yes.
That is awesome.
So yeah, you go into a little bit of an open-air market. It's like right in the main entrance to Mog Faldor. Like once you get past all the security checks there.
Neat.
And there's a bunch of like generic wares for people that are coming or going. And there's like, here's some of the latest weapons on sale, here's some of the latest dwarven food, and like other little trinkets for the road. Then you were brought down one hallway, you pass by a small little chapel to the side, and brought into this restaurant.
Sweet.
Cool.
You said there was food in the market, right? Like
Yeah.
dwarven stuff?
Yes.
I'm gonna peruse my way through that, possibly getting a bit of everything if possible.
Okay.
Because I'm just amazed at all these foods that I've never seen before.
Yep. And you're about to sample some too.
I don't have control of my token.
Yeah, all I know is just eating plants. So
Let's see. Represents Contos.
Yeah,
Let me
guys,
see if-
just call me Contos. I'm used to the last name thing.
All right, I think everybody else is okay. Not that we need to move around a whole lot.
Yay!
All right.
wait,
Now
do
that
you have
remember,
like a character sheet and shit? Because I don't see it.
I have one.
Where's Contos? I don't see. Oh,
Eolus Contos.
Got it.
yeah, you guys can all see that, right? I was
Looks
not a
like
bad
Witcher
DM.
Kind of.
Yep, I see him.
Cool. Making sure I wasn't a bad DM and didn't share that.
Looks like a bro.
I am a bro, basically.
From the Black Dragon Company.
Yeah.
I feel like this group is lacking females. Just saying.
Whatever.
Yeah. I played a chick in another game, so someone else's turn.
You played a chicken?
Chick. A female.
A doe, a deer, a female
Got
deer.
him.
All right, so I don't have. I'm pretty much just going to free spin most of this because I didn't have anything officially prepared for hanging out with Farak. But you're welcomed into this dining establishment. You can kind of notice that a bigger table has been brought in to hold everyone, and a bunch of other tables kind of been pushed against the wall. And kind of, make bigger space. There's no other patrons. It's been like kind of closed off for a private function. And there's servants coming in and out of the kitchen, and they're lining the table with ale, and then coming out with bread and various types of butter, and then additional appetizers and other foods.
I'm
Some of them
interested
range-
in what different types of butter there are.
Do
There's
we all?
butter.
There
There's
is
goat butter.
a cinnamony kind of honey butter.
Oh, you got you. You don't even have to name anymore. I'm all over that.
There's one that seems like it has like horseradishy kind of taste to it, like something a little bit spicier.
Shit's fancy.
There's some that are like really creamy, and some that are like really, it looks like just lard. But
We all get booze and shit.
yeah,
I make a toast to dwarven hospitality.
and Farak raises his glass and takes a drink.
I was gonna say I joined that.
And I raise my glass.
Here.
Yeah, I feel like we're all gonna be raising glasses,
My glass.
and we're gonna have to be careful on how much we drink.
I roll a 25 to make friends.
Awesome, you are very amicable.
Oh shit! I want to make friends. Boop. I made
Roll a
friends
5 for
too.
wallflower.
On stealth.
I'll make friends.
Being a wallflower, you know.
You made stealth friends.
This dude pokes his head out of the ceiling. He's like, "Hey, you want to buy some death sticks?"
Those are cigarettes. Shut up.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I feel like Josh's role there means that he accidentally started talking about the opposite religion. He was like, "Oh, you're a cleric of the water god, right?"
The Mr. Severe.
This guy.
That guy's very, Peter
religion all
Jackson,
the time.
I'm like, the Satan, he's just constantly drinking and partying and having sex. It's bad. It's all bad.
I immediately bring up politics.
All right. So rolling back for a moment, Zach and Brent, with your high persuasion rolls, is there anything you want to get out of Farak about him or his backstory or what he does and other crap?
I mean, yeah, like what? Yeah, like what's your story, man?
Tell us
So
about yourself.
Yeah, how'd
He
you
was an
end up?
adventurer many a year ago. He helped, lead a band of dwarves to fight off an army of goblins and orcs. They
Fuck
also had,
those guys.
some powerful dragons among them. He, reaches back behind his chair and he pulls out, a stone hammer. Like it's literally just like a block of stone with like a stick through it. And there's like a frost over it. He's like, and this is my hammer. And then he reaches back on the other side and pulls out the skull of a dragon that's actually been fashioned into a shield.
That's pretty
And
fucking
he's
metal.
like, yeah. Took that from one of the leaders of the army and kept it as a memento.
Wait, the shield or the skull or both?
He's like, technically both? He's like, this was already used as a shield, but he's made improvements to it.
Yeah, that's pretty metal.
Yeah, he's had some fun. Everyone's kind of a little afraid of him. He admits because he's an ex-adventurer and he has this crazy armor on. It looks like it's made of a bunch of gears, and they occasionally like turn and interlock.
Are they Metal Gears?
They are.
I'm
Are
sorry.
they solid?
Hmm?
Are they solid Metal Gears?
Yes, they are solid Metal Gears.
But where are the snakes?
Not in here.
God damn it, you guys.
What made him quit adventuring?
Bunch of different circumstances. Finally,
Specifically an arrow to the knee.
No,
No, not an arrow to the knee. Which fun story is actually supposed to be a euphemism for getting married.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because Cupid hit you with your arrow and you bowed, like you took a knee and proposed.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Is that like a real thing?
I thought
Or
you
is
went on
that
your knees
something
for
you
the
made
other
up?
thing.
No.
Wait, no, in all seriousness, is that real?
I heard
Maybe.
that as an explanation when like Skyrim came out, and I'm like, that seems far more legit than like randomly a bunch of bandits are hitting everyone in the kneecaps for no reason. Just drive-by kneecapping all over the place.
Yeah, bandits are just kneecapping adventurers left and right, and they gotta retire because of it.
So, Thorak recounts like his last major adventure. He and his brethren had gone off, and he actually returned a entire small city back from the Shadow Plane. And they had to fight like a demigod. And he's like, yeah, no, it was a big ordeal. There was a lot of bloodshed. There was a lot of creepy crap. And after that, he just wanted to kind of get back to his roots. He had been kind of, he's the ordained champion of Grumbar, but Grumbar's usual temples are pretty calm. And they're inside the mountain, and they're, not usually out there kicking ass. So he's like, all right, to try to rebuild kind of the following, because his whole reason why he became an adventurer was his church was attacked by an unknown force when he was gone, and all of his other priests were killed.
Brutal.
And so he went out, kind of like many of you, seeking revenge and answers. Never quite got those answers, but, got the answers of many other mysteries.
That's kind of how life
I'd
works, I guess.
I'd like to ask him what he knows of us.
He doesn't know a lot. He's heard of Yuto at this point as this wizard who's, at the academy. The council dwarf, hold on, let me get my notes for what the hell is, Dolbar Mordum, kind of, keeps most of the advisors at least somewhat appraised of what's going on in the city. But he doesn't know much of anyone other than Ignatius there, where he's aware of the last name.
Well, we ourselves are an adventurers group. We just sort of started up. Yuto here is, our leader. Oh, I had a line. I've forgotten it. I'm terrible at this.
I had something for this. Eat grenades, stupids.
While talking to Ignatius, Farak calls out, and he's like, I see you're a follower as well. And he says, like, of Lyra? And he, like, points to a symbol that's on Ignatius's shoulder. It looks like, a pin that would hold, like, his cloak in place. If you look at it, it's actually a symbol of 3 stars that are interconnected, like a triangle.
Hmm.
So if anybody wants to make a religion check, I can send you guys the link to what the hell Lyra is.
Religion.
I got religion.
I don't know nothing about no religion.
I don't know jack shit about religion.
Lucan
All I know
knows.
is nature.
Nope.
And Josh knows.
It's kind of weird to me how nature is an int-based skill when the main stat of a druid is wisdom.
I think they changed it because they wanted it to be more of like you understand how nature works versus being like, because survival is more of the like I live in nature and survive off the land.
Yeah.
And nature's more like photosynthesis is how plants stay alive versus that plant is yummy.
I guess.
I know it's weird, but it's like life science versus I'm gonna go be Bear Grylls, yo.
Like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I suppose. All right, fair enough.
I remember what I was going to say.
Sure.
While I know that you are a powerful cleric and an advisor of the king, let it be known that we would be happy to help you if our services were ever needed.
And he's like, well understood, and he thanks you for your offer.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing at this time.
Just sort of putting it out there that, we're looking for work.
Nudge, nudge, know what I mean? Know what I mean?
I need work, fool.
You know people who like need work. Or,
Do you know a guy who knows the guy who knows a guy, or you know?
Yeah. He'll keep an ear out.
Okay.
So, anyone who's looked at the Lyra article, one of the things that notices for at least the 2 of you that made your check, Lyra is known as Our Lady of Joy, which is kind of like the party planner goddess,
Awesome.
which should seem a little weird that there's a rogue in the party who's a devout follower of the party planner goddess.
Party platter.
Yeah, what kind of parties is he planning?
The best kind.
Would history count for just remembering things, or is that just intelligence?
I think it might just be flat intelligence.
All right, so make an intelligence check for Gary and Steve. Gary remembers Shard randomly had a rose on him when Gimdall died and threw it in the grave.
Huh.
Which, if you look further down the article, there is a group within Lyra's order known as the Scarlet Mummers.
Sorry, where's this article?
I posted it in the chat.
Yeah, he linked it.
Oh, okay.
And so does anybody ask him about that?
What's a scarlet mummer?
So the Scarlet Mummer is kind of the militaristic branch of Lyra's order. They are kind of their peacekeepers because generally they're kind of a chill and want to have fun group. But Lyra is interesting in this case that the Scarlet Mummers are actually fairly well watched over by her. And if anyone claims to be a Scarlet Mummer and is not, they are generally stricken down.
Oh.
They fall into like a seizure, like immediately.
I guess every party needs its bouncers.
Yeah, so it's one of the things where, so like, if anybody brings it up to him, he's kind of like, yeah, devout follower of Lyra, I was recently made one of the Scarlet Mummers to kind of help, keep the peace in the city. His real passion is kind of artifacts and like religious idols and stuff like that. And so he's actually part of a series of groups. So things to note for the DMPC.
Neat.
He is in with, the priests of Lyra and the Scarlet Mummers, which is kind of cool because if you read more articles on them, if a Scarlet Mummer meets another one and they think they are the other thing, pretty much like they get a mental note from Lyra being like, yeah, they're cool. Like, no one can fake to be a Scarlet Mummer, which I thought was a really cool
That's
little
funny.
note. So it's like, it's weird because it's like a really happy party goddess, but she's like, anybody fucks with my shit, they're dead. DED, dead.
No, no
You might
party
even
crashers.
say that mum's the word.
Yeah. Mum is the word. Yeah, so one of the tales of the Scarlet Mummers is like a noble comes upon like someone who was just assassinated with a rose on them. And he's like, what happened here? Is this just someone, trying to imitate this? And like he touched the body and got an image of what that guy had done to earn his fate.
Ah.
And was like, whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah. So other than that,
How do you burn
Ignatius
Scarlet Mummer?
is also a part of the Fellows of Free Fate, who helped train him in some of his more esoteric skills. And they're usually tasked with finding lost artifacts. So they're kind of like the Indiana Jones crew. Yeah, because of his family name, he has some loose ties to the council. And because he is, a devout follower, he's also somewhat in with the Cathedral of Faiths with the various priests there.
So he's been around too.
He's been around. He has also several, because he's a noble, he has several servants that if, we needed some mundane assistance, he might be able to call upon them.
Do you have like a kung fu butler?
He does not.
Aw.
He does have, the overprotective, bodyguard that was useful when he was a kid, but not so much now.
Yeah.
Do people ever try to sell religious artifacts to him?
Oh.
Door to door.
No one's tried to sell artifacts to him now.
You're like your bodyguards are like the mini boss people have to fight before they fight you.
Yeah, so cool thing about his type of rogue is he's a relic hunter, and he has a unique spell called Relic Hunter's Mark. And so, given enough information about a particular relic, he can actually start to kind of like do like a locator spell to find it within a certain distance.
Neat.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, his whole thing right now is to try to, train up, be better, so he's not like the newest, weakest Scarlet Mummer, and to also, help out the church whenever there's a relic to be found.
Neat.
But right now, being an adventurer is the best way to get experience.
Yeah.
Can I ask him about the tomb, the protection circle around that tomb?
Sure, for Farak. So that was some really, really old dwarven magic with, like some rune casting that was permanent, and it created like, a wall of fire if anyone crossed it.
Yeah,
And it
we
took,
saw that a couple times.
Yeah. It took a pretty high-level cleric or wizard to be able to, dispel the warding.
Yeah.
Because ideally, people aren't going into dwarven tombs after they're full and they have someone important sealed inside.
It's like that ward was so old it was created using rules from another edition.
Pretty much. But yeah, so it was mostly like that. He notes that they have since actually deactivated the runes, found out who was entombed there, and has moved most of the tombs to, or the crypts, to the proper ones inside Mog Faldor.
Cool.
So no other random beasties need to go in there, and no one has to be posted out there to like keep an eye on it.
Victory.
Dwarves get shit done.
Yeah.
Did they seriously? Did they close it up afterwards so nothing would make a base there anymore?
Yeah. Yeah, Farak, being a cleric of a earth deity, was able to seal it up pretty easily.
Nice.
That's soften earth and stone, though.
Yeah. Or a wall of stone used in interesting ways.
Yeah.
So for those of you that aren't in on the joke, Farak the Durker was my dwarven character in a previous campaign.
Chess kicker was my drunken master's first brew.
I'm doing a lot of throwbacks here, but they actually work well with the setting, and I'm like, why am I making up new characters when I have all these other great characters that have other backstories that are already done?
My dwarf was Killian the Furious, and he fought with a keg, and in our first encounter, he threw his keg at a goblin and rolled max damage and killed it. So I decided to make a brew to commemorate the occasion, and that's why Chest Kicker is a thing.
That's why Farrak was feeling nostalgic for Chest Kicker.
Nice. And Dave, did I hear Stormhold mentioned?
You did hear a Stormhold.
Ah,
Stormhold.
is that actually related to my character, or is it just coincidence?
Could be a little bit of both.
All right.
I reused names from that campaign, and also I'm like, this could be a descendant or alternate timeline version.
Neat.
Cousins.
Cousin. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's a lot on Farrak and Ignatius.
Yeah.
What else do you guys want to know?
Everything.
I don't know. I don't know, like, you guys. We haven't, like, even before, like, we didn't really, talk about our shit much.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I do. I asked him about if he knows anything about what happened to the Gold Rune clan. Like 100 years ago.
He sits there, he ponders for a bit. He's like, I can have some scribes try to look up for it. He hasn't been the king's advisor that long. For, 100 plus years. He would love that to happen, but...
I mean, he's a dwarf, so he
is a dwarf. He's just like, yeah, it just hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
But do you tell him that you're a revenant?
No, I do not. I just ask him if he knows what happened to Clan Goldrune.
He doesn't know, but he can have some scribes look into it and see if there's anything in their records.
Does the rest of the party know he's a revenant?
You guys have seen my disguise slip a few times?
I haven't.
Oh, that's right. So you don't. But Daroth makes his appreciation very well known. Like, he's clearly very thankful that someone at this level would do something like that for him.
Yeah. I mean, you probably get a little bit of the vibe from him. Like, make an insight check.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's probably not going to look too carefully into it, but.
Yeah. I was also looking into... I want to look into something myself real quick. All right. You can kind of tell he's eyeing you a little bit just because, he probably already picked up that there's something weird about you. And that you're asking about a family that died out over 100 years ago, but Dragonborn don't live beyond 80. So he's just like...
mysterious.
You might be like, yeah, all right, I see what you're up to. It's fine.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, he's not a cleric of life and shit. He's a cleric of, stone's pretty sweet.
Getting stoned. No, not that kind of cleric.
Getting stoned in the most brutal type of way.
Getting stoned the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, more weight.
So continuing along the lines of, old knowledge, kind of ask him about, Dwarven City's been here a very long time, must have a lot of records and written down, legends written down and history and all of that. Is there anything not accessible in the regular library that maybe you could get a peek at here?
Pretty much he would say most of the dwarven records would be very hard for anyone to get into. They're still pretty... They don't have the city has a library which is intended for everyone. The dwarves have a records hall which is intended for very few and only those that need to get in there. But he asks you what your area of inquiry is.
Just a little bit of surprisingly elven history.
He notes that there's a large group of like most of the elves in the city actually live outside, doing a lot of the living on the terraced kind of mountainside just outside the city wall. And they have a little, mini village outside the city. And their elders may know more.
Okay, cool.
Neat.
And by the way, during this whole thing, I'm basically sampling everything on the table because it all looks incredible.
So you find things that are hearty, things that are savory, things that are, oh my fucking god, that's spicy. More of the hearty and spicy than the sweet stuff, but
Fair.
especially because, as Brent put it, it's dwarven Hawaii. So there's some bold flavors, and then there's some nice hearty flavors. But not a whole lot of like the fruit stuff, because that's for elves.
Fair, because I've had a lot of kind of fruits and that kind of thing. This is different, new.
Yeah, most of the vegetables and stuff are some sort of fungus,
Huh.
like mushrooms, and
Mushroom.
they're not the same type of mushrooms you would find in like the Underdark.
Yeah. Not the ones that come alive and try to fight you.
Hey man, those guys are chill.
Well, there's one, the myconids are cool. There's like another species that's super ornery and will fuck your shit up.
But yeah, no, random aside, the Out of the Abyss book talks about surviving in the Underdark, and like everything to eat isn't a mushroom. Like 10,000 different types of mushrooms, and that's
Makes
all there is to
sense.
eat. So yeah, he gives you the tip on to go talk to the elves. And yeah, and he's like, yeah, generally dwarves and elves don't get along, so even if it was in our records, there probably is not going to be good records about elven stuff.
Fair. So they would have a bunch on gems, though, wouldn't they?
Gems, yes, they might.
Interesting.
What you researching?
Yeah, just some miscellaneous things that have caught my eye recently.
Hmm.
In addition to my sentinel duties back home, I was also partly a librarian. So research and reading is just something I do.
Cool.
Has he ever had any interaction with a certain wizard who loves owl things?
Mr. Ninox Humes, you mean?
That's the one.
He has not.
The owl guy.
Okay.
Does he know someone that has?
This is the first he's hearing of an owl dude.
Ninox Humes. Daroth remembers these things, but Zach Wagel is less good with the memory.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think I have the book on me, so I show it to him and go, "Do you recognize this book?"
He doesn't, but then he leafs through it and laughs at some of the cool pictures of various owl things.
Those owl cats.
Yeah, it's like, no, this is actually pretty cool. And I will let him help you. What? Hold on 1 second, everybody.
Never.
Fair. Gotta remember my login.
Is your password DrawSap?
No. I'm trying to find out the actual modifier on this roll because I actually have his sheet.
Oh shit.
Come on. Really? Wow.
Is that a good wow or a bad wow?
It was more of I was going to make an intelligence check, which he has a 12, but his wisdom score is a 28.
Wha-
Because he's a 3/5 character in Shenanigans.
yeah, that breaks 5e.
Yeah, no, I know. Alright. Well, I'm going to give that. Wow. Looking through it, I get it back to the page I was just on, because of course I'm dumb and will change the page. He's looking through it and notes while looking through it that there are some weird inconsistencies with like how it's written. Certain words are like slightly more heavy-handed, or like a letter's capitalized in the middle of a sentence and it's not supposed to be. He thinks there's a cipher within the book, like a message within the book, and he points out the first one, which points out, and then you get like a number out of it. The number 9.
Oh yeah, as he mentions that, I'm like, oh yeah, I did notice something along those lines.
Yeah, and he's like, you probably just gotta leaf through and figure out a couple more and see what it's talking about.
I'd start looking over his shoulder at him too and trying to decipher him as well. Can you check?
Yeah, if you want. You see the one that he pointed out, but you don't see any other ones that come immediately to mind from leafing through the book.
Aw, I swear I roll like crap in this game.
Well, that's a saving. You rolled a saving throw, not necessarily intelligence roll.
Same difference, but yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
The only difference, you guys, if he was proficient in intelligence saves, you might get a slightly higher roll.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it for the book. He just kind of helps point out the first one that, this page is weird, and notes how that one was ciphered to get a number.
Okay.
Cool. Kontos, do you have anything you want to ask about the dwarf?
I don't know.
About your cool little hatred thing on the thing that killed all your friends?
Yeah, I sort of forgot what that is. Because Brent's an idiot. Spaceman's an idiot.
So what I have written down was some sort of monster unlike anything you'd seen before.
Yeah.
Killed a bunch of the
My
people
patrol.
in your company.
Yeah.
You would have called it a dragon, but it didn't breathe fire or anything.
Yeah.
There was like a rain of like crystal shards came down
Yeah.
and like pierced everyone.
It's like, my company was called the Black Dragon. We know what the fuck dragons look like. This was not a dragon. It was some weird dragon-like crystal-breathing fucker. I don't know. If you ever heard anything like that. You've been around, right? You know weird shit.
So you can make an investigation check, and then I'll see what the heck Farok's gonna roll.
Investigation. I don't know what it is still.
Actually, can I roll 2 just to see if I
Sure.
popped across something in my readings?
Sure.
It's like, yeah, I swore a vengeance on this thing, but I have no idea what the fuck it is, so... Yeah.
All right.
I didn't really... Wasn't very forward-thinking in my vengeance declaration there.
I swear that Roll20's given me a 20-sided 10.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've had the same thing. Like, my character finally hit something when we were in the dwarf tomb. Up until then, he was the most useless background character. He's like, he can throw darts really far. They don't hit anything.
It's like, well, that's great, but the enemies are right over there.
Yeah. That was great. He's like, I'm going to jump up and throw this, and it's going to hit the ceiling. So, Farox, with his roll, uncovers one piece of information for you. And write this down.
Shit, I gotta with it. Where's my notes? All right, there we go.
He recounts a dwarven bard recounting the tale of Seath the Scaleless.
Seath?
Yeah, Seath.
Seath the Scaleless?
Mm-hmm. And the only reason why it stuck out in his mind was that he mentioned that, the dragon, had no scales. It looked weird for a dragon, and that it, used crystals instead of fire.
Yeah. Seath the Scaleless. All right. I gotta look into that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It has a name. That's fucked up.
Yep.
This is gonna be more work than I thought.
It's
Damn.
a named creature. Oh shit.
I swore vengeance against the named creature. Well, it's nice knowing you guys.
We'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Yeah, we just gotta make sure it's a level appropriate encounter. We'll be all right.
Yeah, you guys may want to level a little bit first.
Yeah.
All right. Going through all. I got like a whole binder in front of me, so I'm like, all right. So who's next in the binder? There's Steve. Zach went. Josh, Gary, do you have anything you want to ask?
I think what useful information I could even get out of this guy. If somebody wanted to hire protection, no questions asked kind of thing in the city, do you know who the number one people to go to are?
He's not sure of their name, but he would bet, down by the docks is probably where the most lack of questions are asked.
The most lack of.
Mm-hmm.
That's called the fewest.
Yeah. The fewest number of questions are asked.
I'm not a grammar Nazi, I promise.
No, it's fine. That was a retarded way to say that. But yeah, that's pretty much all he has is just like, if people are looking to hire protection without any questions asked, in his mind, the docks area is probably where the most amount of, seedy characters lie.
In a weird direction of questions, where do you say the holiest place in the city is?
Holiest would be the Cathedral of Faiths, probably. To him, he has his own little shrine inside here, but he's, for most people, the Cathedral of Faiths is probably the main holy site for everybody, because it's kind of a one-stop shop for all but the darkest of deities.
Just
And where the
offhand,
shrines for the darkest of deities kept?
Heresy.
In secret, probably. He's sure there's some around, but they're probably kept pretty well in secret.
offhandedly, I ask you who you worship.
For Farak?
No, Gary's character.
Lionel. Orion, god of law and knowledge.
Sorry, what was it again? I just missed it.
The god Orion, god of law and knowledge.
Orion. Cool.
Yeah. In saying that, he notes that there is a shrine to Orion outside the Cathedral of Faiths that is over by the college. There's a smaller, separate shrine.
I should visit there.
Yeah. As a paladin, do you wear your holy symbol proudly, or do you kind of keep it under...
I wear it proudly.
Cool. So people probably could easily picked out that that's his chosen faith.
Given my roles so far, probably not.
I know.
Hey,
There's
I
a certain
spent an
part of me that
hour
does
talking
miss
about my
rolling dice.
god.
What?
One at a time.
Yeah, that was like 5 people talking at once.
Go, Gary.
I spent like an hour talking about my god. It was a fumble, but I spent an hour talking about it.
That was the beginning of the dinner.
Yeah, and I was saying I agree with Steve that sometimes Roll20 can be like infuriating because it's a random number generator, and I'm like, I miss just rolling my dice because then I can throw out those dice if they betray me.
You
Get
can
new
dice shame them.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, the best places are probably the cathedral or the shrine that's over by the main college.
Noted.
Yeah. Jeff, you feel like the dwarves are not going to care about making the city more green because they made
Probably
it this
not.
way? Though you might be able to get some information on local plant life.
Yeah, sure. I'd ask him what kind of plants are around here.
So let me roll for esotericness. It is. I gotta roll all this shit. Because if you couldn't tell, I have a chart for you. 19, one benefit. It's white. And all right, so there is a white flower that its caps kind of look like mushrooms. So it's white with little speckles of like a darker gray around the bell. And once a year they create fruit that, if eaten, provide advantage on con saves for the next hour.
That's pretty cool. Do they have any?
He said check out the market out front. They might have some, especially dried, because they go bad pretty quickly if they're not dried out.
Ah. That's cool.
You.
Plants,
Yeah.
yo.
Did I forget anybody? I think that's everybody.
Yay.
Next one I have is Mike, who isn't in the book anymore
Because he died.
because he died. Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to do while at the dinner and talking? We go shopping at the little dwarven market.
I'm
Get a
going to drink
goodie
some
bag?
more.
We're gonna drink some more with the dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Do they have any magic items at the little dwarven market?
Farok doesn't think there'd be anything magical at the market you passed. But there may be some weird magical trinkets at the Grand Market, which is right outside the gates. So the way the city's laid out, the gates of Mogfaldor spill out onto the Grand Market, and then the other end of the Grand Market is the Cathedral of Faiths.
We could bug that traveling merchant that we basically swarmed on.
We could. He had a whole bunch of weird shit.
Show us your weird shit.
He's like, I just told you most of my weird shit.
I need
Yeah, but-
more weird shit.
Yeah, but we lost our wand of curing.
Wand of Curing went away.
That's alright. Now you have a guy who has a coin that makes it dark or light. Depending on how it lands when I throw it.
Yep.
It's no meat wand, but
It's no meat.
That's
Wow.
what she said?
yeah.
Nice.
Anyway.
Or
Anyway.
Well, I found a new name for it now.
the meat wand.
Hey, y'all got any more of those
Meat ones? You mean beef jerky? Yeah.
No, those meat ones are only for my wife.
You mean Slim Jim?
Get it? Your name's not Jim.
What?
She only likes Slim Jim.
All right, before we fully derail,
Alright.
so yeah, things go fairly well. Dinner eventually kind of wraps up. Farak bids you all farewell and good luck. Metagaming, let me know if I said Farak will be sending you information. I have to remember to do that. And you guys can go down toward the market if you wanted to look around at what's there.
Market.
But you don't actually have to move your tokens. We can just, scroll down and tell me what you're looking for.
I'd like to look for those mushrooms.
Cool. You can find, a small pouch of about a half dozen, and it's about 10 gold.
Done. Sold.
Cool.
So what does it do again?
If you eat it, you have advantage on con saves for an hour.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Ah.
Useful little fruit.
Eat them before you start drinking.
Yeah. We're going to go fight a bunch of things have poison or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now that you guys have sampled a lot of the food, like on the left side, there's probably a bunch of random things you guys tried in one form or another. And then weapons and other things are more... You get there more of like, hey, here's the newest designs of the mine. Try out this weird shit. Or, you leave in the homeland and you forget your sword, buy a sword before you leave.
You said half a dozen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A regular dozen or a baker's dozen?
Still 6. Because half of 13
I know,
rounded
I
down
know.
in D&D.
I know. I'm just being a smartass.
Just being the rules lawyer. It's like, it doesn't matter.
I know. No, I was really just being a smartass. I know how rounding works in D&D and in real life.
Yeah, so you guys know that this is just like a small little market. You see some other dwarves coming in and out, these other little wings, but you don't really get a good glimpse anywhere.
Is there like a lot of people here? Or is it like pretty sparse?
You get the feeling that there's a handful of people that are coming and going, but you feel like the vast majority of the dwarves do not hang out right at the front door.
Yeah.
Like, this restaurant is very conveniently placed right near the front door to kind of like greet guests and be like the first stop.
Yeah.
We're in the touristy part.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys went to the tourist trap restaurant.
The
Everything's
tourist trap.
dwarven themed.
They sell any trinkets?
There was no really trinkets in the
Souvenirs?
restaurant. This wasn't the dwarven hooligans or...
Dwarven
Got some
hooligans.
crazy crap on the wall.
Yeah, no.
Shenanigans, hooligans.
Yeah. Now, if anything, you would say it's more of like, this is typical dwarven of like the architecture, the style of the furniture. Nothing's too ornate, like nothing's too over the top, but things may be well finely crafted.
Yeah, as dwarven stuff tends to be.
So, do you guys want to go to the market, or do you guys want to kind of thusly into the intro for the next minute? We can call it an early night.
I don't think there's anything that I need.
I already bought my mushrooms.
They're flower fruit.
Flower fruit.
Well, they're fruit from a mushroom flower thing.
That's weird, yo.
Those dwarves are weird. Yeah, bro. All right. So you guys are going...
Actually, I'll pick up a few potions of healing
Okay.
if they have them.
Yeah, they're for the standard price of 50 each.
Cool. I'm gonna buy like 4 of them.
Okay.
Things went a little south last time, and he's now a little paranoid.
Understandable.
Alrighty. Then. So, a couple days go by, and we're gonna come back to my favorite map for starting shit off.
Yeah, I remember this place.
Yeah, this place doesn't seem as cool now.
Jeez.
So I'm just going to give the intro, and then we're going to call it probably an early night so people can get back to what they need to do. So Yudo calls the team back to the Blue Scroll to discuss a new mission he finally got us. He explains the news the new adventuring company is getting out, especially after having that, honor of going into Mog Faldor and eating with Farak the Durker. The Cliffwind family, a lesser family who immigrated from Westport about 2 years ago, is in need of our help. Radovend Cliffwind, patriarch of the family, came to Yudo personally to seek assistance in the retrieval of a family heirloom. He explained that the Cliffwinds used a large ruby that has been in the family for generations as collateral while setting their family up in Eastspire. He claimed that his family has been clashing with the Thorngall family in several trade negotiations. The Thorngalls then used their connections to call the collateral into suspicion, forcing it to have it reevaluated at a neutral jeweler's. The jeweler wasn't neutral at all and claimed the gem never arrived. Radovan isn't sure of the Thorngall's involvement until Andy's son, Harold, was overheard boasting about the theft at the Brazen Nixie, going so far as claiming that the family should put the gem on display at their manor.
Well, that's not obvious.
Yeah.
GG.
Yeah.
Radovan would like to see the team retrieve the gem, and if word gets out on the theft, the family could be ruined as their debtors could learn that the collateral is gone. Fortunately, the Thorngalls are holding a gala in 3 days' time. Yudo will back the team's plan and can get several invites for those that need it, as well as Ignatius as a noble. He is expected to attend. The team has to come up with a plan to infiltrate the gala and retrieve the gem for the Cliffwind family. The gala is a masquerade, with just the typical small masks and not full-on costumes, but just little masks. But for some, that may help aid in infiltration.
Shit. I'm on that shit.
Yeah.
We should just kill them all.
Like a potted plant?
Whoa, chill, dude.
And Dowd says that, and his sword is in his scabbard, back of his head, and it pulls out of the scabbard and smacks him in the back of the head a little bit.
It's like, easy, bro. It's like, at ease, soldier.
Sulks.
So this is Brent's much requested heist. Will be up next. So next session, I plan on we're going to brainstorm and do research in the city to figure out how we're going to infiltrate, and then probably the session after that we'll actually do the real infiltration.
Okay.
And heist.
Ocean's
Sweet.
11 style.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Getting some Shadowrun in our D&D.
It's all about
Yep.
the misdirection.
And my character Ignatius will have some stipulations about this, but that's for next time.
I am not stealthy at all.
I was going to say, you and I are going to stand out like a sore thumb.
Like a planner's thumb.
Shit,
or
I gotta find a
bird.
date.
A green.
Now I crit.
Got it.
Alright, game's over.
Wait, where'd he go?
Game's over, you win.
You stealth forever. You are so stealthy, the world forgets you exist, and you transcend reality. You are now a god.
Emo. That is so emo.
No, he's now a god.
Whoa.
But yeah, some of us can try to actually go into the party as guests.
Yeah.
Some people can try to sneak in. We'll have a whole bunch of options next time.
Yes. Next time on D&D.
We might even roll investigation to get a map of the layout of
We
someone.
should definitely do that.
Maybe bribe some of our contacts various places.
Yeah.
We'll go in through the service entrance and dress up like servants.
That's a possibility. Someone also just said he has 3 servants. Anyway, have a good night, guys. I will catch you guys in hopefully 2 weeks, although it's like the day after Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Ooh, I could shift into an animal and be someone's pet.
yep. There's a lot of options. I'm going to be interested to see how we tackle this.
26
Alright.
might be all right for me.
Yeah.
How do you feel about murdering a noble family? Just throwing it out there.
Ignatius will not be
Sounds
on
evil.
board with that at all.
Yeah, that's a bit much, bro.
If I shift into
I
a
mean-
cat, I can like stand on furniture and knock things over.
They're dirty thieves. Clearly,
Eh.
they need to die.
You don't want to
They
get
break the law.
So the thing to note, the stipulation that Ignatius was going to bring up is that as a Scarlet Mummer and devout follower of Lyra, he cannot abide violence at a party. So you guys should not go around trying to murder a bunch of noble people
Yeah, that's
at a
fair.
party.
We don't have to do it
If
at the
they're
party.
outside
We could
the
do it the
party.
night before.
We don't want to get that heat on us, guys. we just started here. We don't want to have to flee the city.
Also, to note for those, I sent out those Eastspire docs a while ago, but if you look at it, the Thorngalls are on the council. Or at least
Ah.
one of them is.
Okay.
So they're a powerful noble family.
All right.
No one tried to avenge my family.
The Thorngalls are the douche families, right?
Well, Thorngall are claimed to be the douche family
Yeah.
based on the Cliffwinds
Yeah.
hiring of Udo.
Yeah. Okay.
But
They're-
cool, guys. I'm going to let you go.
All right.
All right. Sounds good.
Adios.
Later.
Later.
All right. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Those
Spaceman out.